So what is going on, guys? I'm BlackOpsAmazing. Welcome back to another video on the channel where today I wanted to discuss the thought I had, which was I don't know if a round-based zombies map will work in Vanguard Zombies for a few reasons. One, because of the systems we already have implemented in Vanguard Zombies, but also if it was to come, because of how stuff works in this game compared to previous Zombies modes, it could also mean they'd have to change quite a bit. Now obviously at this time, Vanguard doesn't have a round-based zombies mode. Treyarch have described Duran Fang as a mixture between round-based, Outbreak, and Onslaught. Personally, if you're asking me, there is really nothing about Duran Fang that is round-based. That's like saying Outbreak is like round-based. The way rounds work in this, instead of killing a set amount of zombies, instead you complete objectives. I suppose you could say you do go up through the rounds, but we also did that in Outbreak. The world grows harder. So really, to me at least, it's nothing alike. Round-based is fast-paced. Like I said, in order to progress through rounds and for the game to get harder, you don't have to complete objectives. Along with that, we all know round-based maps include tons of Easter eggs, a main quest which we don't have yet, multiple ways to learn about the story. As of this moment in time, we can only get that through radios, and I could go on. So to me, Duran Fang is a mixture of Onslaught and Outbreak. But ever since its release, everyone's been asking, when will a round-based map be coming in Vanguard? We did get this comment from one of the Treyarch developers, who is Kevin Drew. Someone put out on Twitter, what if Forsaken was the last round-based map we ever get in Zombies? And Kevin replied to this saying, what a terrible thought, no thanks. So a lot of people thought when they first saw this, that must mean we are having a round-based Zombies map within Vanguard. But this could mean their next game. He could be talking about that. I'm not even too sure if Kevin is working on Vanguard Zombies. In his bio it says he worked on Black Ops Cold War and Outbreak. It doesn't mention Vanguard anywhere, and I do know that not all of the Treyarch Zombies development team are working on Vanguard Zombies. I'm guessing the rest of the team are working on their next game, which is supposed to come out in 2023. We know that we will be getting another round-based Zombies map from Treyarch, but the question is, when? This tweet doesn't necessarily mean it will be coming within Vanguard Zombies, and I think there are a few reasons why it won't. And the main one for me is the Covenant system. I would say the Covenant system is the main new feature that was brought into Vanguard Zombies. That was the big thing they advertised to us before the game released. That was the one thing I would say they wanted to show off the most. It is one of the few new features in this game. However, with the way it works now, in order to get Covenants, you need Sacrificial Hearts, and in order to get Sacrificial Hearts, you need to complete objectives. Since we won't have objectives in a round-based Zombies map, how would we get those Sacrificial Hearts to purchase Covenants? It would mean the whole Covenant system, their main feature, would need reworking. This to me, along with a load of other things I'm going to mention, is proof that Vanguard Zombies never intended to have a round-based Zombies map. I think what they were planning to do is just add new regions, like they've done in Season 1, to Duran Fang. So Covenants, as it stands, because you need Sacrificial Hearts, and you only get them from completing objectives, won't work in its current state. What I suppose they could do is maybe add a similar thing to what we saw in Black Ops Cold War, where you could complete challenges for either essence and loot, or documents, intel, but we also don't have that system in Vanguard anymore. So I'm trying to think how they could implement us earning Sacrificial Hearts into a round-based Zombies map. Perhaps they could just give us one every couple of rounds, or maybe they'd do it so we'd pick one up every time we killed a special elite enemy, a Stormkrieger for example. The point is, it's clear that as it stands right now, Covenants wouldn't work in round-based. Another reason I think you can also link to the perk system and the Pack-a-Punch especially. Right now in Vanguard, this is the most expensive Pack-a-Punch we've ever had, costing 7,500 points or essence. Previously in Cold War it was 5,000 essence, and it's the same for every other Zombies game before that. That is the cost of the first upgrade. In Vanguard it costs 2,500 more. As it stands right now, I think it's okay for Duran Fang. It suits this system because every time you complete an objective, you get a few thousand essence. In my opinion, in your average round-based Zombies map, you can probably Pack-a-Punch by round 10 by the time you've turned on the power, opened up all of the doors in the map. That usually happens for me on about round 10, 11, 12, something like that. In Duran Fang, that translates to about round 4 because you get a big load of cash once you complete an objective. However, with the Pack-a-Punch being 2,500 points more than it usually is, it would mean Pack-a-Punch in your weapons could take a few rounds longer. Not forgetting that in Cold War, we don't know if this is exactly how it would work in Vanguard, but in Cold War's round-based Zombies maps, the point system worked differently to what we saw previously. You could get various different amounts of points from shooting different parts of these zombies, and also if you knifed them, you would get a different amount of points. The point system in Cold War worked differently. It was more set out. In Vanguard, because it works like Outbreak, you get a lower amount of points, but a big wave when you complete an objective. So it depends what point system they would go with if we had a round based in Vanguard, but either way it would take just a little bit longer to Pack-a-Punch than it usually would because it costs that little bit more. And you could say it's the same for the perks. Again, using Juggernog for example, previously when you brought this in any other game, one purchase would give you its full abilities. However, in Vanguard, you have to purchase perks a total of 4 times, one of those purchases being free, in order to get its full abilities. It can get very expensive when you get towards those higher tier perks. So again, if you add a round-based zombies map with a different point system, I think it would take a long time. You would have to go to those higher rounds in order to fully upgrade every perk and fully upgrade your Pack-a-Punched weapon. The perk system and the Pack-a-Punch to a certain extent in Vanguard wasn't designed for a round-based zombies map. Again, more evidence for me that Treyarch's initial intention wasn't to add one in this game. Another big reason for me why I don't think it will happen, or if it was to, it wouldn't happen anytime soon, at least not until Season 2, 3, it's just because this game already is so far behind. I don't need to mention that we don't have a pause button, we don't have some of the basic features like a Pack-a-Punch camo. These are some of the basic necessities of zombies which we know they are trying to add into the game, but given we are already a month into its life cycle, actually even over that, obviously it's harder to do than we think. Also, they're working on adding a main Easter egg quest to Vanguard Zombies. All of that combined with other things is going to be taking up Treyarch's time. They'll be working on that. So what time would they have to work on a round-based zombies map? We know the main quest for Duran Fang isn't coming until Season 2. There'll still be plenty of things to fix during that time. To me, Duran Fang needs loads of new objectives and regions to make this even playable, so it's not repetitive. So either they fix Duran Fang or scrap it and work on a round-based zombies map. Either way, just because this game is so far behind already, again, I think it's almost impossible for Treyarch to add a round-based zombies map, because that wasn't their initial intention. If we do get one, it won't be until Season 3 at least. And if you didn't like them reusing multiplayer maps or campaign maps in Cold War, well, you're not going to like Vanguard Zombies, because that's definitely what they're going to do. Just to save time, it's so much easier for them. For example, using Outbreak. You saw how easy it was for Treyarch to add new Outbreak maps in Cold War. You saw how many of those we had in that game, and that was because it's easy to do. Treyarch don't have to create those maps, they've just got to add in zombie spawns, a Pack-a-Punch, perks, and a few other features that we see in zombies. Actually, making a map takes up a lot of time, and because they don't have that, if we do see a round-based zombies map in Vanguard, most of what we see will probably be reused from multiplayer or campaign missions. I mean, we've even seen that with Vanguard, so we're definitely going to see it with a round-based map. And then, finally, I would say is, one of the main things that makes round-based zombies maps unique is Easter eggs, whether it be a main quest or side quests. Easter eggs is one of my favourite things about round-based maps. I've said that so many times in this video. We already saw with Cold War, they had more time to make that game than they have with this, yet even that game lacked with side quests. So given that they're already so far behind in Vanguard, because Easter eggs make round-based zombies maps special, if we were to get one, I don't think there'd be many Easter eggs in it. The question is then, do you really want one? Because from everything I've talked about, how Covenants wouldn't work, they'd have to change it, the perk system, the Pack-a-Punch, wasn't designed for it, this whole zombies mode, what I think Treyarch did is, they looked at Outbreak in Black Ops Cold War, they saw that some people liked it, they knew that it was easier for them to do, because they've just got to take maps from the campaign and multiplayer, they don't have to worry about that portion. And then because you're completing objectives, that also means they don't have to worry about adding extra things for us to do on the side, because they think we'll be occupied with completing objectives. I think they saw some people like this in Cold War and decided, because it's just easier, to try and make a variant of it in Vanguard. I think we can all agree, on most people, that it hasn't worked, and it may actually be too late now to change it or fix this game. Anyway, there we go, it was just a thought I had. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think we will be getting a round-based zombies map in Vanguard Zombies? I think there's a small chance, but if we do, it won't be until Season 3 at least. Even then, I think 4 or 5. So there we go, drop a like rating, make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.